Hi, I'm Kempton Randolph. I'm the owner and founder and farmer and distiller at Hooker Mountain Farm Distillery here in Cabot, Vermont. And I want to do a video today about my birch whiskey. And I wanted to show you how I make the flavoring that gives it its special wintergreen flavor, and how we steam distill that from fresh yellow birch here right on the farm. So here it is, the finished product. This is our birch whiskey. This one's an oat and corn spirit, and it is aged on yellow birch wood. And then it's sweetened with a little maple syrup, and I blend it down to drinking proof from cask strength using a birch hydrosol that I steam distill, and that's what I'm going to show you here today. It's really what I think makes this spirit so unique and so special. And there's really nothing else like it that I know of that's even ever been made. It all starts with, let's get this the right way, a yellow birch tree, the saplings to be specific. This is a yellow birch sapling, and I harvested this. Harvested a bunch of them this morning, probably about 50 or 60 saplings. And so this is where it starts. I went out in the woods at the back of the house and cut these down. And so the first thing that we need to do to the sapling here is we got to take the leaves off of it. So I use the machete, and I'm just going to trim off the small sticks from the sapling, the branch ends which have all of the leaves on them. And so here we have our yellow birch wood. And the flavor of yellow birch is a strong wintergreen taste and flavor to it. And that's contained mostly in the bark and in the cambium layer here in the young part of the growing part of the tree. And that's why the saplings have the most wintergreen flavor, birch essential oil in them compared to the rest of the tree. You won't get that much from the bark on a trunk of a larger tree, so we use the saplings. And so now that we've taken the leaves off, we're going to put it through this chipper here. This is attached to the tractor, and we'll take a whole bunch of these and chip them up until we have a tote full of yellow birch chips. And then we're going to put them in the still along with some just plain water, spring water, and run that through. And that steam in the still is going to capture all the essential oils from the yellow birch, and we're going to condense that into what's called a hydrosol. And that's what we're going to use for the flavoring for the whiskey. So why don't you come inside the distillery with me, and we'll get the still all set up with some yellow birch chips. Here's a tote full of yellow birch, just chipped up in the wood chipper, and those are saplings that I harvested this morning. And those, we're going to put those into our pot still. This is a 13-gallon pot still. And we're going to load this up with the yellow birch chips, and then we're going to put water in it and do a steam distillation to extract the hydrosol and essential oil from the yellow birch. And that's what we're going to use as the flavoring for our birch spirit. So let's get this loaded up. Our still is all loaded up. Let's take a look at this here. It's full of chips, left just a little bit of headspace. And then I put in 2 gallons of water, and we're going to attach this column here onto the top of the still. And let's get that set up. And we're going to turn on the propane underneath it, get this fired up, and start collecting some hydrosol. So here we have our 13-gallon pot still. We've got this filled up with the yellow birch chips, and I put about 2 gallons of water in there. And got propane fire underneath. And basically what's happening is the heat is causing the water to boil inside the still in the pot. And that steam is percolating up through all of the chips. It's coming up, and it's getting all of the wood fibers and the bark, the cells, it's getting them super hot, and they're exploding. The cells of the yellow birch are blowing up, and all of the essential oils that are contained in all the bark material in the wood is being vaporized. Anything that's volatile and that will turn into a vapor is being picked up and carried by the steam. And it's coming up through here, through the top. It's going through this column right here. This is just a 90-degree bend that we've got in the top, 3-inch pipe. And then it's coming into this reducer right here and flowing into this copper tubing, which is the condenser. This is a cold water jacket. So the vapor is traveling through a little 1/2-inch diameter pipe that runs down inside this 1-inch copper pipe. And we've got cold water that's being pumped through and is at counterflow and coming up in the opposite direction of the vapor. And that cools the steam, which has all the essential oils of the birch, that cools it down and condenses it into a liquid. And it's going to be coming out the end, and we're collecting it in a mason jar. And we're going to take off about 1 gallon of distillate. Here she is, running away. So this is the hydrosol, spitting out the end of the condenser. So you can see, so this just started running probably 10 minutes ago. You can see that it's milky colored. And that is, that's all of the essential oils that's in the hydrosol that's causing it to be cloudy. Basically, they're suspended. They're kind of emulsified in the water. And if you let it sit, they will separate it out. But when it comes off the still, it's cloudy. And the cloudier it is, the stronger, the more wintergreen flavor the yellow birch distillate will have. So this is going to be a good batch. I'm excited. So here we are back at the bar, and we're all done blending, bottling, and now comes the best part of all, which is the tasting. Now, of course, as spirit manufacturers, we taste everything that we bottle to make sure it's up to snuff. And so I'm going to try a little bit of this birch spirit. Cheers to Vermont's independent spirit. You get it has this beautiful wintergreen aroma. There really is nothing else like this. It has that whiskey bite, just a little sweetness from the syrup. It's rich, but it's not heavy. And it has this gorgeous, cooling wintergreen flavor. It pairs so nicely with the heat, the little heat and the little bite that the grains bring to the spirit. And they just balance each other so well. And this is at 90 proof, 45% alcohol. And it's unlike any other spirit I've ever tasted. And it's really captures the flavors of my farm so well. And it's really, this is my favorite one. So, if you want some of this, there are 2 places to get it. You can come to my distillery here on Lovely Road in Cabot, or you can find me at the Montpelier Farmers Market every Saturday from 9 in the morning, which is early for drinking whiskey, but it's not too early to buy it for that afternoon. So we're there from 9 to 1 on Saturdays at the Montpelier Farmers Market, downtown Montpelier, Vermont. Or, better yet, take the drive out, come see my beautiful distillery, see my goats, see the farm, have a tasting, and it's an experience that I'm sure you won't forget. So, thanks for watching.